Stop being everyone's rock and start living for yourself. You are not the emotional pack mule for the entire kingdom. The noble title we never asked for, keeper of everyone else's emotional stability. You, the unappointed mayor of Sacrifice Village. Interesting. Forever offering your time, your energy, and occasionally your sanity. Until, of course, there's very precious little time left for yourself. You've heard this before. Oh, I'll help you with that. Yes. No, I'm fine, please, you go ahead. Or, I can manage, really, it's no trouble at all. Is this your internal soundtrack? This resembles a tragic opera of self-abandonment, disguised as selflessness. It's time we had an enlightening chat. I'm Dylan Moore, author, cognitive behavior specialist, and devoted advocate for women's empowerment and men's emotional healing. In this discourse, let's unveil transformative strategies to restore your balance, reclaim your power, and anchor you in unshakable strength. Together, let's expose the inherited beliefs that have gaslit us into self-doubt, and let's dismantle the emotional nonsense we have been conditioned to accept as normal. Now, let's discuss why you became everyone's rock and why it's slowly crushing you. If you find yourself perpetually carrying the burdens of others, consider the following. You were praised for being the strong one. Early applause for emotional stoicism taught you that being needed was the highest form of self-worth. You learned that saying no equals selfishness. Thus began the endless, exhausting quest to be agreeable, no matter what the personal cost. You equated love with service, and somewhere along the way, you confused being loved with being useful. You believed that your needs were secondary, or even worse, a burden. So you became very skilled at disappearing behind other people's dramas. You thought that enduring everything meant you were being strong, but my dear, strength is not measured by how much suffering you can endure in silence. The clinical insight, fawn response and codependent conditioning. From a therapeutic lens, constantly being the rock often stems from fawn trauma response, the compulsive need to appease, fix, or save in order to maintain a sense of safety and belonging. It's also heavily tied to codependent patterns, where one's identity becomes entangled and enmeshed with being indispensable to others, creating an emotional economy where your worth is determined by your utility, not your humanity. You were not born to be everyone's therapist. You were born to live. Now, let's examine the hidden cost of being everyone's rock. First of all, your vitality. You deplete your own energy reserves while others skip merrily along the way. Then, your identity. You lose sight of who you are outside of other people's needs. Then, your future. Yes, every yes that should have been a no redirects your life way off course. And then, of course, we have your emotional health. Chronic overfunctioning often leads to emotional burnout, resentment, and then a persistent low-grade self-despair. The invoice for being indispensable is staggeringly high, and one you're done paying for. Now, let's unveil how you reclaim your life without a guilt hangover. Establish sacred boundaries. Saying no doesn't make you selfish, it makes you sovereign. Prioritize your own needs, unapologetically. Fill up your cup first. The overflow is for others, not the dregs. Detach your worth from your utility. You are not valuable because you serve. You're valuable because you simply exist. Practice saying no with grace and finality. No is a complete sentence, and quite a powerful one. I dare you to say it. Learn to endure the discomfort of disappointing others. Their disappointment is not your moral failure. It's their unmet expectations. Why this works according to actual therapy and not just Instagram quotes. From a therapeutic lens, learning to prioritize yourself is part of a boundary reformation. It's a critical phase in recovering from codependent dynamics and fawn response. CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, teaches us that beliefs like I must be everything for everyone, or I am nothing, are distortions. These are cognitive distortions and traps that reinforce cycles of depletion and abandonment. Rewiring begins by asserting your right to autonomy and self-prioritization, rewriting the old script where martyrdom was mistaken for love, and rewriting a new narrative where self-respect leads the story. And now, a most audacious realization. You were never meant to be the ballast that kept everyone else afloat while you slowly sank. You were never meant to play the reliable supporting character in a life where you're destined to be the protagonist. Let us be most deliciously scandalous in this truth. You do not owe your life to the comfort of others. You simply don't. You owe it to yourself. So, think about this. Who have you been carrying for far too long? And more importantly, what might you create if you finally laid them down? Take a moment, think about this, and drop a like or comment below. And let's normalize the radical act of prioritizing ourselves. Let's do that without apology. Remember, together we rise, together we thrive. Let's rise fierce into a new life of personal power and freedom.